Hey guys, I got Nathan down here today.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. Brought in another cool guitar.
All right, let's take a look.
Check this thing out. All right, so what I brought in today is a Fender Custom Shop 65 Stratocaster. And this isn't just your standard custom shop. This is actually master design, as you can see right there on the case, master design. And
Okay.
this one was done by Mark Kendrick.
Huh, Mark Kendrick.
Yep, so he's worked at the custom shop since the late 80s, actually, when they first opened up. And this is one of his designs. So it's...
Let me really quick, my first thing that I see on this guitar that is super unusual is there's binding on the neck.
Yep, so we'll get to this in a little bit.
Okay.
But included in some of the case candy was a DVD with an interview with Mark Kendrick, and he talks about this guitar in it. And he said that
All
he
right,
wanted
let's
to...
look at that case candy.
Okay, cool.
Is that going to stay up
So
like
you have
that?
the center pocket here.
Okay.
And you get your little trifold leather binder here, and certificate of authenticity.
Very nice.
And as you can see in the middle, gives you a little write-up about Mark Kendrick and some of the guitars he's made. Does stuff for Eric Clapton, Johnny Cash, Buck Owens, Keith Richards, Merle Haggard. And then over here you have your little DVD where they talk about the this 1965 Custom Shop Strat. And then up here you also have your spec sheet, which we'll go over that in a little bit.
Okay.
And then you also have your neck profile, which goes from 0.8 to 0.95 on the neck. That's the taper.
Super interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, the video is honestly a little cheesy, not gonna lie. But I watched it the other day, and I'll kind of give you the summary. Basically, Mark Kendrick, he wanted to make a 65 Stratocaster, but he wanted to make it not just a direct replica, he wanted to fancy it up a little bit, and that's where the neck binding comes in.
Okay.
In 65, you'd get neck binding on a Jaguar.
Right.
Or a Jazzmaster. So he threw it on the Strat, and it's really cool. You know, it definitely gives it a different look because, like you said,
it gives it a whole different feel too.
Oh, totally does. Yeah, this neck is definitely different than a lot of the Fender Strat necks I've played. You could feel the difference. So light Relic on here, as you can see.
A light Relic.
You know, I think they call it the Journeyman Relic, which means that it's a guitar that's been played, but
Let's put it out and set it up on top.
kept in its case.
A Journeyman Relic.
Yeah, and you'll be able to see on the back, there's some relicking, you know, a little bit of buckle rash here and there.
What year did he build this thing?
This was 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, and it would have came from the factory with all this wear.
She's already 16 years old.
Yeah. So this is Lake Placid blue over Olympic white. So under the Lake Placid blue, you can kind of see it in the cavities here. It's finished in Olympic white underneath. So as it starts to wear down some more, you know, right here or
poke through.
in the armrest here, the white will start to show.
That's cool.
And then you have your slightly relic knobs. The ink is turned slightly green and kind of worn off on the volume. You can see as the tone, no one touches the tone at that much, so all the text is there. Same on this one, but on the volume, you can see they've reliced it. You know, and this is what I was saying with the Journeyman Relics. They try and make it realistic. You know, they know that guys are riding these volume knobs, so the ink is worn off. But you know, on the tones, not a lot of guys touch their tone on their Strat. You know, maybe the neck tone, but you got your standard 6 saddle bridge. You know, nothing crazy. Other than the bound neck, this would be a 65 spec Strat. It is African rosewood. It's nice and dark. And
are those clay dots or what are the
no,
dots?
they're pearloid.
Oh, I see
They're
that,
pearloid, yeah. So in 65, you'd already have the pearloid dots. And the logo that they used, they did use the correct transitional logo. You know, this would be after the spaghetti logo, but before the block pre-CBS or the block CBS logo. So you have your, I guess all the patent numbers are supposed to be exactly the same as well. And as you can see, it's lightly aged. And if we flip it over, it has the Clouson style tuners on it that are also slightly patinaed.
Yeah, and I can see the how it aged a little bit.
Yep, and you could see, yeah, you could see here that the lacquer is starting to wear through a little bit. I believe that this neck wasn't aged at the factory though. I think that they didn't age any of the lacquer on the neck. That might be played through because on the spec sheet, which we'll show again in a little bit, I think that it said that the neck was not aged, but we'll see.
And it's an L series plate.
Yep, just like a 65 would have been. Well, at least an earlier 65, they did put an L series plate on there.
What's the wood? The body? Is it alder or what?
I think it's alder. I believe it is alder. All right, so you got the spec sheet out. It actually doesn't specify whether the body's alder or ash, but I think I remember in the video that I watched, the little DVD, it said it was alder. Yeah, it says aged Lake Placid blue over Olympic white. The finish is lacquer, pickguard 3-ply white nitro, bridge vintage, standard tone controls, volume tone. Oh, the pickups. Yeah, the pickups. I did want to mention that. They're custom hand wound neck and middle pickups with staggered pole pieces, and then they did flat pole pieces on the bridge pickup. And these are light gray bobbins. If you look on the bottom of them, light gray bobbins. And like I said, you have your standard tone setup, and you do have a 5-way switch on here. So that's nice because you can get those in between tones. But yeah, it says bound neck, light gray bobbin pickups, 9.5 radius, black case with no logo, L series serial number, and they made 75 of these. 75 units. But I believe all of them are a little bit different because the relicing is different on all of them. In the DVD that it came with, it showed a couple different examples of it, and some of them have a heavier relic, some of them aren't reliced at all. There was one I remember that they were showing on the back. Pretty much the whole back was like wood color, or not wood color, but wood, bare wood. No relicing. So this is one of the lighter relic ones. So for those guys,
how would you describe that neck profile on that? Just by hanging on to it, holding it.
I guess I would say it's like a D shape or C. I don't know. It's pretty slim.
Does it feel like anything you've played before?
Yeah, I mean it feels like a 65 Strat, you know, like a slimmer neck. My Esquire that we did the video on a couple weeks ago, it's nowhere near the size of that neck. You know, this one is really thin. It's still the same nut width and everything, but it's just a slim neck.
And I noticed that the truss rod adjustment is down here in the heel.
Yep, truss rod adjustments in the heel.
Kind of a hassle to get to though, huh?
Yeah, I guess. You could take the pick guard off.
Yeah.
And adjust it. So yeah, you can't do it with the pick guard on or anything. But you know, they're trying to go vintage correct on that.
Right.
As you see, there's still no skunk stripe, whereas even some of the newer guitars that Fender makes, even though it's a rosewood board, they still put a skunk stripe in the back.
So it's a top-loaded truss rod.
Yep, they put it on before they put the board on.
What are the frets? Jumbo?
They're medium jumbos.
Yeah. They got a lot of life in them.
Yeah, and I actually had this thing set up the day after I got it, because when I got it, the action was too low for me.
Wow.
I play with a medium to high action.
Right.
You know, just so it's more comfortable for me. If it's super low, it feels like I'm playing notes without even touching them.
All right, Nathan. The time has come.
I'm gonna plug it in.
Plug it in,
See how
man.
it
Play this
sounds.
thing for us. Here we go.
All right, so I'm gonna just start on the neck pickup here. And we're playing through a Hot Rod DeVille. Neck and middle pickup. Now we're in the middle. Yeah, the middle is like where it shines for me. That's my favorite spot. Cool, thanks for checking it out. We're down here at ZIMM'S Guitars.
Thank you, Nathan.